don't think we're bold enough in many ways. I think the most important thing that you want is a terrible cliche, but the emotional engagement with the customer, and also the prospective customer. I think a lot of companies, and we are guilty of this as much as anybody, you become a bit too obsessed with your existing customers. You ask them for feedback, but actually you need to always to find out what new customers respond to, ask them to frame that question, that answer. I think the hard, before you do anything, you need to be really clear what your brand is. And it sounds an easy question to answer in our case, but in fact it's incredibly difficult. It's very easy to come up with words like bold, and people will readily misinterpret it, and you then have to question, well, is it the right word to use? So, for example, we had a product, we have several products this season which are too bold, and we have, the sales weren't very good. We sometimes have marketing materials that are too bold, which upset people, which don't really project quite the right message to the customer. I think it's a terribly boring answer, and it's very time consuming and difficult. But actually being really clear what your brand is, it's not just about being bold, it's about all sorts of other things as well. If it could be reduced, if any marketing message or product message could be reduced as 5 simple adjectives, life would be very simple, but it isn't. Working out what your brand stands for, and then also being clear in the way you communicate that to your teams, and this you need to do with not just words, with images. And the last thing, which is spectacularly boring, is to repeat it. You know, you cannot expect your teams to understand what you're talking about unless A, you're clear, and B, you repeat the message constantly, so that people it takes people a long time. You know, you read the books about, you know, Alistair Campbell talking about how to communicate to the press, to the electorate. You know, you repeat this message time and time again, and eventually people get it. Now that's as true of your staff as it is of your customers. But I would say, of all the things I've said, actually working out what you stand for, and working out in what way you can be bold, is very critical.